Let's talk about binge-triggering foods. First of all, point of clarification. You can learn a lot from your mindsets, but never should you use this or any list about so-called triggering foods as an excuse to binge. And a lot of people, particularly millennials and Gen Z, are in the habit of using the term triggered to refer to being excused because they had an outside influence act upon them and they feel justified in the way they act. Well, I got triggered because somebody said something or because somebody did something. The reality is you're always in control. You can choose how you react to a situation. And at no point should you use anything I tell you here as an excuse to binge and say, well, it was one of my binge triggering foods. But I'm going to give you mine today. I'm going to talk about my list of binge triggering foods, and I'm going to discuss what they mean. Now, I encourage you as we go along to make your own list of binge triggering foods. Foods you have eaten in the past and you have found they contribute toward less rather than more self-control. So again, there is no excuse for binging. You can control yourself if you want to. And you should never get in a mindset where you justify cheating or being weak based on circumstances outside of your control, because that's the mark of a loser, let's face it. Those who always blame their circumstances for all of the things in their life that they feel have gone wrong. I digress. Here's my list of binge triggering foods. Number 1, popcorn. Number 2, chips of any kind. Number 3, chocolates, pies, cakes, candies of any kind. Number 4, nuts of any kind. Number 5, milk, milkshakes, or ice cream, plant-based or animal-based. Number 6, peanut butter. Number 7, sweet sodas, sweet coffee, or sweet tea. And number 8, raisins. That's my list. What is yours? In contrast to that, I have a list that puts me more in control. When I eat these certain foods, I feel more inclined to utilize self-control. And that is rice, sardines, tuna, lentils, and my favorite, turkey and eggs. Now, not a lot of people know turkey and eggs go really good together. You can go and get a Jennie-O pack of organic steroid-free turkey meat, and you can chop it just enough to fill a plate. You can fry 4 or 5 eggs, and guess what? You have a keto-friendly meal that will rock you through the day, and you will feel in control, and it only requires enough oil to put at the bottom of the pan to keep the eggs from sticking and to allow them to fry properly, and salt and pepper, which you already have. It makes a great meal and gets you back into a quick, fat-burning, fat-adapted mindset that is not being teased along with any sort of sugars. You guys know I'm not particularly a keto fan, but there are times when a high-fat, high-protein meal can go a long way. So what do we learn from these foods? What is the point in my mentioning them? Your binge-triggering foods are the telltale signs to look for to do a reality check, to do a state of mind check. Because when you spot a destructive pattern in your life, you can correct it. You can say, I know the patterns, and I know the signs, and I know what to look for. And a lot of times we start doing things without thinking about them. We start eating out of bags and containers. We start doing little things that we say, oh, I'm in control, but we don't really acknowledge that. Remember in Rocky 3, when Rocky's already lost to Mr. T the first time, and he's supposed to be training with Apollo on the beach, and Adrian says, can I talk to you for a minute? And his heart is not in it. And she gets to him and she gives him a reality check. She says, we've got cars, we've got money, we've got everything but the truth, damn it. And so pretty soon that's the breaking point, because he comes out and he says, all right, I'm afraid, damn it, I'm afraid. Well, that was the light bulb moment. Now he was back in touch with his real self, and he realized, what's the worst that could happen? That's the powerful moment of truth. When you realize that in yourself, you face the same thing. You can look at the behaviors you're making and see where you're screwing up, and you can correct accordingly. Again, it is a self-destructive mindset that you're after, not an excuse. Never look for excuses. They aren't there. But when you spot a pattern, you are a fool if you don't take corrective actions and say, look at what I did here. I'm clearly not in touch with myself. We need these sort of reality checks, folks. We just do, because we're not always true to ourselves. We're not always mindful. We're not always aware of our motivations. So what is your list of binge triggering foods? Put them in the comments. Discuss what are some of the best steps that you would otherwise recommend to be able to view yourself and your motivations clearly.